Bob Kaczewski here. I just heard that there's a projected $16 million shortfall. I also heard that the new Balboa Park parking fees are projected to bring in $1.2 million. Well, gee, how much money is the business at Torrey Pines Gliderport making every year? We know that the new lease has that business paying a whopping $3,412.50 a year. But what are they bringing in every year, Joe LaCava? Do you know? Has that business reported their income to anyone in this city in the last decade? The last reporting of their income that I could find was from 2010, 11, and 12. The figures for those 3 years were 1.1 million, 1.289 million, and 1.361 million, respectively. And those numbers were from over 10 years ago. Have you heard of inflation? They could easily be bringing in over $1.5 million a year in 2026. So if you subtract the $3,400 in rent from about $1.5 million income, you still get about $1.5 million income every year. That would more than cover all the money you're expecting from Balboa Park parking. That would cover nearly 1/10 of the projected shortfall. All the city has to do is run their own glider port and collect the profit for the city instead of giving it to a private business. But neither Joe LaCava nor Todd Gloria will touch that business. Why is that, Joe LaCava? What kind of corruption squeezes every dollar out of citizens while giving away our multi-million-dollar park to a private business to make money? If people wonder why they should care about the glider port, they should remember this analysis every time they're paying to park in our own Balboa Park.
Hello, Ernie Casco, La Jolla resident senior pilot. Another shady deal at Torrey Pines Gliderport. The complaint is well documented on your desk. We have a proven solution known as the San Diego Recreational Waiver that would end the dispute. It's time for transparency to stop the corruption within your own administration, Joe LaCava. Your leaseholder is caught. It is illegal to turn our freedom into a privilege for a license and a fee under any terms, circumstances, or condition. I should not be forced to sign a leaseholder waiver when the city liabilities are already covered by California recreational laws. This is misappropriation of public funding going into a private account and needs to be fully audited for transparency. The San Diego Recreational Waiver stops city leaseholder internal corruption and by revising the permanent reinstatement of Torrey Pines Advisory Board with unanimous support from everyone as a proven solution. This needs to be done for public safety and oversight and would end the dispute. The San Diego Recreational Waiver secures city liabilities, restores recreational freedom, and addresses the victim and witnesses who have been damaged and assaulted within a timely fashion. It's a win for city liabilities, restores recreational rights and freedoms for years to come. It's the best decision City Council and you could make, Joe LaCava. If you want me to walk away, you are blatantly robbing America. The City Council is still liable and needs to address the victims and witnesses who have been damaged. Thank you.
Bob Kaczewski here. Nearly every week I talk about the problems at the Torrey Pines Gliderport, but those problems are really just a very specific example of a more pervasive problem throughout this city. That problem is the unhealthy mix of government power and private profit. Today I'd like to explore that broader problem. Everyone knows that running a city requires purchasing goods and services that the city itself should not produce. Examples run from pencils to police cars. The city could try to make their own pencils and police cars, but that would be extremely inefficient, a huge waste of resources, and the results would be terrible anyway. Pencils and police cars are much more efficiently purchased on the open market. But does it make sense for the city to purchase outside police and other services? Where should the city draw the line? That's a complicated question, but let me suggest an important criteria. In all cases, the city should never delegate direct power over citizens to third-party businesses operating for profit, period. The city should never, for example, delegate police authority over citizens to a for-profit business, as was done with the red light cameras. The city should never delegate citizen communication to a for-profit business, as you're doing with Constant Contact. The city should never delegate authority of our parking structure to a for-profit business, as you're doing in the Jones Parkade. The city should never delegate authority over our parks to a for-profit business, as you're doing at Torrey Pines Gliderport. In all of these examples, the city can't just delegate authority and then look the other way. That's a recipe for abuse. And we've seen that abuse in each example, including the glider port business refusing park access to people who've testified against them in court. These are the abuses that arise when the city hires outside businesses and then shirks its duty to ensure that citizens are treated fairly by those businesses. What's ironic is that all of you are left-wing council members and mayor would quickly accuse conservatives of putting business interests above the public. But here you are doing it every single day. Reactivate the Torrey Pines City Park Advisory Board and implement the Torrey Pines waiver now.
Thank you for that concluding comment.